Hey friends, welcome to a new tutorial. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to crochet this lovely textured square. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna share with you an idea for Father's Day using this square, so make sure you stay till the end. We will need yarn. I'm using worsted yarn, weight 4, together with a 5.5mm hook, and a stitch marker because we're gonna be working in spirals, and a pair of scissors. Let's get started. I like to start with a magic ring. If you don't like to do magic rings, you can start by crocheting 4 chains and connecting the first and the last stitch with a slip stitch. So I'm gonna start by doing my magic ring. Now my circle is ready to work the first round. So I'll start by inserting the hook into the circle, and I'm gonna do my first single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull a loop, and then yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. We need 6 single crochet stitches for round 1. Now that my stitches are ready, I'm gonna close the magic ring. I'm not going to join the first and last stitches because we are going to work in spiral. So I'll start working into the first stitch right away, this stitch, and I'm gonna be working into the back loop. So looking into the V, this is the front loop, and this is the back loop. And I will be working by inserting my hook into the back loop only, as shown in the video. So into that stitch, I'll go in and do an increase. I'll do 2 single crochet stitches into the same stitch. And before proceeding any further, I will place my stitch marker into the first stitch of these 2. So this will be my first stitch of round 2. Through the round, I'm gonna be repeating the 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch, and at the end of the round, I should have 12 single crochet stitches. Always make sure that you're working in the back loop only, because this is very important for this pattern. This is the end of round 2. Let's start working round 3. I'll remove my stitch marker, and into that first stitch, I'll work a single crochet stitch. Again in the back loop only, and then I'll put back my stitch marker to mark the beginning of round 3. Now into the next stitch, I'll do 2 single crochet stitches into the same stitch, so I'm doing an increase. And I'll repeat this again, so a single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the next stitch. 1 stitch or a single stitch, and then 2 stitches into the next. At the end of round 3, I should have 18 single crochet stitches. Now we're ready to start round number 4. So into the first stitch, I'll do 2 single crochet stitches, so I'm doing an increase. And before I proceed, I'll place my stitch marker back into the first of these 2. And then into the following 2 stitches, I'll place a single crochet stitch into each. We're gonna repeat that again. So 2 single crochet stitches into the next stitch, then a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Repeat that again. So double or 2 single crochet, then a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. At the end of round 4, we should have 24 single crochet stitches. After finishing round 4, we are ready to turn the circle into a square. So into that first stitch where I have the stitch marker, I'll do 3 half double crochet stitches. That will be the first corner of my square. So I'll yarn over, insert the hook into the back loop, yarn over and pull a loop. Now I have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. This will be the first stitch of the round, so I'll place my stitch marker into that half double crochet stitch. And then I'm gonna repeat the half doubles for two more times for a total of 3 half double crochet into that stitch. And that is my first corner formed. Now into the next 5 stitches, I'll work a single crochet into each. Now I've reached the second corner of my square, so in the next stitch I'll do 3 half double crochet, always working in the back loop. And then for the next 5 stitches, repeat the single crochet in the back loop. Now we're at the third corner, so repeat the 3 half doubles. And then 5 single crochet stitches in the back loop. Now the last corner, 3 half double crochet. And then the last 5 stitches, we're gonna do a single crochet into each. And this is the square on which we're gonna start building our texture. You can see the spiral shape being formed. Now at this point you have 2 options. You either can cut the yarn and attach the yarn to the center and start working from the center outwards, or follow what I'm gonna be doing, where I'm gonna start from the outer side of the spiral working towards the inside. Okay, so now we don't need that stitch marker, so I'm gonna put it away. And I'm gonna chain 2. So there is 1, 2. And then into that same stitch where I did my last single crochet, I'll find the front loop of that stitch. And I'll start working half double crochet stitch. So yarn over, insert the hook into the front loop, yarn over, pull a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then I'm gonna be working backwards. So the stitch before that current stitch, I'll locate the front loop and start working a half double into that loop. And repeat throughout the spiral. We're not doing any increases throughout this spiral work. Let's have a look. We have the half double crochet stitches sitting on top of the square. So work your spiral towards the inside. Again, no increases at all. So each front loop, we were gonna work a half double crochet into it. As we get near to the center, it gets harder to locate the stitches, so make sure that you don't skip any loops. This is the last stitch to work. Now we've filled all the spiral with half double crochet stitches. Cut the yarn and make a knot, and then from the bottom insert the hook and pull that extra yarn downwards. Now you have the two sides or the two ends of the yarn. Just make a knot. And now we have our square ready. So this is the final look of the square. Now you can work the circle part as big as you want to, and I have a tutorial that I'll put a link for on the top right side of this video and down in the description box, showing you how to increase your stitches to get a flat circle. You can work it for as many rounds as you want, and then at the end you work around to turn that circle into a square. That will make it easier for you to attach the pieces together if you're working on a big project. Now I'll show you a project that I did for Father's Day. It's a Father's Day gift. I'll have the pattern for this project on my blog. Feel free to use it. And you will also find the number of squares of each color that you're gonna need to finish this project. And I also have a tutorial showing you 3 different ways of joining the squares together that I will link in the description box. And by this we have reached the end of this week's tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And as always, stay safe and keep crocheting.